Hello, I'm Eric. I'm a software engineer. Welcome back to my Kanban task tracker video series. This will be a code with me video today. I will link to a playlist of all the Kanban tracker videos that I have made so far in case you're interested in going back and checking out some of the previous updates, whether they were code reviews or just other follow-along videos. The first thing that I want to do today is I'm taking a look at some of my files here, and we've got in my create edit section, I've got a board modal that makes a new board, and I've got a task modal that makes a new task, right? That is this little pop-up where we can add more columns, and this pop-up where we can do the same thing, add more subtasks. They're working in the same kind of way, but these files are pretty large, and I'm trying to keep in mind some of the solid principles in application development, primarily the S, which is the single responsibility principle, which if you're unfamiliar with the solid principles, look them up. You know, it's some good information to know. Primarily, they are derived from object-oriented programming, which is not what we're doing in React. Excuse me while I plug that in. We're doing functional programming in React, but everything is a component, so we can kind of treat our components like objects or similar. But really, you know, I've got a lot going on here in this particular component, this task modal, where right now all the code lives here that is responsible for, when we open this form, you know, updating all of these fields and keeping track of the state of all these fields and the subtask count and each individual subtask. All that stuff lives here with all of our functions. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break most of this out, I think, up to here, probably this whole chunk of code. I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to break it out into its own hook just to kind of clean this code up a little bit and make this mainly responsible just for rendering the component. And then we can have the functionality live in another file, similar to what I have going on with these immer functions. I have them in a utility folder over here, where over here I've, you know, this is the only file that has imported immer, and anything that, you know, we're updating our large state here all lives in this particular file. So this shouldn't be too complicated. We'll just move this stuff over first, make sure everything works, and then maybe we'll make some additional updates. So first things first, I guess, you know, looking at the way I have this whole thing structured, I've got, you know, my components folder with create and edit, so things that can create or edit, which is the intention, these two things, which that, even thinking about single responsibility principle, is like it can create and edit, which means it's two different things, but if I consider it just manage the state of a single task or a single board, I don't know, that's, I guess, up for interpretation. But also thinking of the dry methodology, right? Like, don't repeat yourself. If I make another task modal file that is basically exactly this again, but just to handle editing, I don't know, it seems repetitive to me. So when we do edit stuff, I'll probably just reuse this. Anyway, what's my guess? Make a folder that's specifically for hooks. That should be fine. So we'll make a hooks folder, and in our hooks folder we'll make a new file, and we're going to call this use make task, I guess we'll call it. And I'm going to expand this out so we've got a lot more room to work with. That's the lag. That's the screen recorder lag. Wonderful. All right, so we've got use make task, which we're going to put over here, which right now has nothing in it, and then our task modal over here. So basically, there's a couple things I want to do. I need to pull in this use make task, which we put use in front, like that's the convention, so React knows that this is a hook. We're going to hold state in that, All right, in here we have our new task and set task state. We've got our same thing for our subtask data. So I'm going to just copy this whole line of code and pull this over here. Once I move everything over, we'll see what we don't need in this file on the left anymore. Let me actually completely full screen this thing while it chugs along. Ugh, this is bad. All right, so let's start pulling some of this stuff over. I know I'm going to need my task and subtask definitions as well. At least task. We'll see about the other. So we know we want to take over our state that holds our, actually before I even paste this in, we will do let use make task equal a function, and that's where all this is going to live, right? And that's our state first. I'm already getting yelled at by TypeScript. I need to pass column names into this function, so we're going to throw this up here, call names, right? Which is, if we look back over here in our props, it's a string. It's an array of strings, so we'll type that out here, string array. Okay, and I should be able to just pull all of this stuff in. We'll do this one section at a time, I guess. So these are all of our functions that handle updating the form and making the title, description, and status of our new task. And then we've got the edit subtask information, and we'll cut all this stuff over down to here, and that's going to be what handles our subtask. So, this isn't a huge file now. I guess I could also break this down into two individual files of like use make task and make subtask, but I don't know. I don't really think that's super necessary to do. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to have to export use make task. I guess export default, right? Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is at the very bottom of this, we'll do a return, and we'll return all these individual things that we are using in our file. Now it's primarily the render file, right? That renders the component with all of our main HTML stuff. So let's take a run down here and look at the things we're going to need that, now I'm getting those errors that I don't have here anymore. So we're going to return, and we're going to destructure a bunch of this stuff. We're going to return new task that we need. We see up here, we're going to need new subtask. We've got edit new task over here. We've got edit new task again, new task. New subtask is here. We've got edit and remove subtasks, so we'll add those. And then remove subtask. We've got add subtask, and we've also got change task status. Add subtask, and this one's in here too, right? Change task status. Okay, so now, I've got I have this in here twice for some reason. Oops. What am I missing then? Well, we'll see what I'm still missing after I pull this stuff over. So we're going to need to, apparently I don't need subtask in here anymore. I'm not managing state in this file anymore, so I don't need the use state, and I'm not handling that event anymore, so I can get rid of that. We do still have context in here, so we'll leave that. And now we're going to need to import our file, import use make task, and then down here we can destructure all that stuff we just did, and we'll do the use make task function. This is going to return all this stuff for us. And I'll just copy all those things we just typed out. Okay. What am I getting an error here for? Oh, we need to include our column names, right? We know we passed that in as a requirement. And there we go. Everything looks good over here. We're not using use context over here, so we'll get rid of that. And are we missing anything in our file? Do we have any more error messages over here? It doesn't look like it. So that's great. And let's make sure we saved everything. Save all looks good. We'll shrink this back down and let's see if our board is still working correctly. So we did the, that white. We did the add task functionality. So far so good. We've got our pop-up and no errors and no blank screens. We'll do a, boy that lag, we'll do a test title here. We'll do whatever this description is going to be. We'll add some subtasks. So we see we've got 1, 2, and 3, and we know if we click on 2, that goes away. That's still working correctly. We'll put this in doing. We see a default to do, which is fine as intended. And there we go. That's still working out for us. We've made our custom hook. We moved our functionality over into an individual file, and we took a lot of the bulk out of that task modal file. So that's looking a lot better. Woo! We might make this a short one because this lag is killing me. So we've got that, which is looking fine. And let's go do the same exact thing we just did to, I guess, the board modal, right? Because that's doing the same thing. And we can do a make board hook. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do another file here. We'll do use make board.tsx. And we'll do the exact same stuff. So we'll copy this first line over, our use context and use state, which we know we're not going to need use context in here, so we'll get rid of that right away. We'll copy our types in there. We'll see what's needed. And then we'll set up our hook. Let use make board is a function. And at the end, of course, we're going to do export default, use make board. Great. And then we can start filling some of this stuff in. So here's our context, here's the state stuff. And same thing, I'm going to leave that send board function over here, since these, these are props that we're sending in from the parents. So let's cut all that stuff. Let's just go ahead and drop that right in here. And we don't need board over here, which is fine, so we can get rid of that. And at the end, we're going to do the exact same thing we did, and we'll return our individual items here. So we know we need a lot of things to come back. We need board name, of course. We need columns, our two pieces of state. So we've got board name, we've got columns. We're going to need all the actual functions, which should be, oh yeah, set board name we need. So we'll do these like that. Set board name, columns. Do we use set columns in this? We use remove. I think set columns is just within our hook now, which is nice. So we shouldn't need to pull that over. But we do have columns. We have update column name. And we have remove column, and we have add. column. So we can do exactly what we just did. Copy this entire thing, save that file. We'll come back over here. We no longer need columns in here, so that's nice. We don't need useState in here anymore, of course. We're not managing state in this file. We can import our use make board. Thank you, auto import. And then we can do our let destructured stuff equal use make board function, and that should work for us. All my errors go away there, which is great. Let's do a quick check down below here to see. I guess I can word wrap this a little bit more. Are we missing anything? No visible errors here, right? So let's go ahead and pop this down and make sure everything is saved in my code. Save all is good. Create new board. This is, we'll call it test board. We'll add some columns, 3 of them, 4 of them, why not? With 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll remove 3. That still works correctly. Create board. There's our new test board. Awesome, with 1, 2, and 4 that we set up over here. And we can still add a task to this thing as well. And we've got subtasks here. And we'll make that task. All right, cool. Easy enough. I'm going to cut this as a short video right now, which is just a little introduction to, I guess, making hooks. We're just cutting down this file size. I would like to take a look at what's going on with this awful lag and see if we can't make that a little bit better for our next recording session, which will tackle editing these tasks. Right now we've got the ability to delete, but I don't have the ability to edit. So we'll take that next time.